Good morning, all. This is Jack from Charting the Markets Crypto, and this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Monday, the 14th of July. My disclaimer: I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some what I'm doing, learn from it, transfer it to your own charts. I'm not here to issue trading signals. This is a video. Anyway, right, let's move on. Okay, in terms of the Bitcoin has been doing very well the last couple of days, and we've made a higher high here, and I'm wondering whether it might go significantly higher. But on the bigger picture, I'm wondering whether this is topping out, because at the moment this has been this has been very highly correlated with equities. And we've not really seen any sign of that changing. Equities, I suspect, are topping out here, and that's going to likely have an impact. In terms of the daily chart, we have new weekly pivot at 115.538. We've got a resistance trend line here, which I'm thinking might potentially be a target. I'll just draw in where that would get to. It doesn't necessarily have to be a target. There's no really strong reason why it should be a target. But if we get to it, then it is the current resistance trend line. And I've got that. I've got that currently at about the 135 to 134 area. We could potentially get there. So watching that with great interest. But it's not necessarily a target because we never made it back to the support trend line. But this could be a sign that we've narrowed into an alternate pattern, which would start here and come on a trend line up through here. So I am watching it with some interest. Looking at Solana. We are back over. The 200 DMA, but we've not got any further than we did at this stage here in May. That needs to convert to support to open up the possible IHS neckline. Waiting to see if that happens. We'll see. What I would say is we've now got a possible RSI 5 sell signal brewing, and that could be marking a high here. If we are going to see equities turn, then as I said, that would probably not be great for crypto, certainly on the evidence we've seen so far. In terms of the IHS, I've got the IHS neckline up here at about the 193 area, and I'm thinking we might make it. But really, I'm not certain it's going to get that far. If we're going to see we're going to see a topping out process on equities here. I think that's probably going to take a few weeks, and that could give us enough time to do some damage to the upside. That doesn't seem likely to give us enough time to actually make new highs, new all-time highs here on Solana. So we will see. Obviously, we've already got those on Bitcoin. Looking at Ethereum, we broke over the resistance here. We converted all of the 50 DMA, the 200 DMA, and the daily middle band, and we have raced to the upside. We've got an IHS here, which is broken up with a target at a retest of this high here in the 410.905 area, but I'm skeptical about that making the target, as I'm skeptical about the inverted head shoulders on IWM making the target. Bigger picture though, looks pretty good. I've got a possible trend line we're coming up to, resistance trend line that might be interesting, that we go up to in about the 31,500 area. Obviously we would have a channel resistance option there too. There's definitely scope to go somewhat higher. We will see how that develops. All right, great. Let's have a quick look at questions. Yeah, it might be. It might be. But what I'm saying is that if tariffs are back in a big way, I think Trump's going to be a lot more reluctant to cave on tariffs this time, because I think he feels his manhood is impugned, because taco became a catchphrase that Trump always chickens out. I think that's going to make him more reluctant to chicken out this time. And we'll see how that develops. But I think this move back to tariffs might be serious. If that's the case, then chances are the retests of the new all-time highs we've seen on SPX, Qs, and Gaia might be all we're going to get. We do have potential large double tops, which could be setting up considerably more downside than we saw in April. And if we see that, we've not currently seen any evidence that crypto is going to decouple from equities. So that's not likely to be good for crypto. It could be that we will now see it decouple. Certainly, I think there could be a lot of trouble in the bond markets over the next few months, and maybe that could be the trigger. But until we actually see some real evidence, I'm not going to assume that's going to be the case. And in the absence of that, then the outlook isn't great for crypto either. I think we might see more upside. The question is how much. I think that's very open to debate. All right, great. In that case, I think that's a wrap, mate. In which case, I'll probably be doing a crypto post tomorrow. talking about this and looking at the pattern setups. But I'll want to do the equity one first. But it's time to be wary on equities, on crypto, and my lean would be towards the downside as long as these tariffs look as though they might actually be serious. All right, great. In that case, I think it's a wrap. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Take care.